are you? Good. Thank you for having me here today. I look forward to kind of sharing with you a little bit about the Big Red Barn Retreat. I'm going to kind of start, I don't know if y'all know where it is. If you've been to Blythewood, it's at Highway 321 in Lork. Many of you, if you've gone down Highway 321, you've probably looked up and seen this obnoxious big red barn and said, wow, what is that? I'm going to tell you a little bit about what that is today. I like to walk around, so this is going to be tough for me. I'm high energy. So the genesis of the idea for the Big Red Barn was born out of, in 2009, my father passed away. He died of cancer. And my family started the Sonic driving business here. Jeff knows that very well. Jeff's a good friend of our family. And it's me, my mom, my dad, and my brother, and my sister-in-law. And so he passed away in '09. And he was in the Navy, by the way, so he had a strong passion for the military, very strong. And when he passed away in '09, what the difficult part was for my mother, and who knows my mom? Okay. And thank God she's not here today. My mother is very strong-willed and likes to control things. She's a strong-willed, very strong woman. And it was a struggle for her to understand why she couldn't control what happened to my dad. And so she spent a lot of time with me. And so we spent time riding horses out in the woods, and she would ride my horse. And I said, Mom, you gotta get your own horse, because I want my horse back. And you know my mom, no, I'm not getting another horse, I'm riding your horse. Okay, so you gotta negotiate with Barbara. Said, Mom, how about if I get you the mother of my horse? Oh, okay, I'll take that. Anybody that knows horses knows there's a big difference between a gelding, which is a boy horse, and a female horse. Female horses lead in the wild. So you don't, with a gelding, a boy, you tell them what to do. With a girl, you ask her. So now you take my mother and this mare together. So the first time she tacks this horse up, and she's standing there, and she walks out of the barn, and she says, oh, I forgot something. She drops the reins, and she turned to that horse, and she said, stay, and walked away. And I didn't get the words out, Mother, what are you thinking? And that horse took off. And she comes running out, she goes, I thought you said that horse was trained. I said, Mom, you can't control things sometimes. That horse isn't going to listen to you. And the next 5 years, that has been the constant of my mother trying to understand that you can't control stuff, and that horse taught her that. And being out in the woods and building a relationship with an animal like she has helped my mother get over losing my dad. And so that was kind of the genesis of the idea, because she was sitting there saying, wow, how can I take this to our military? That would mean something to my dad. How can we help these guys get over what they're going through over there? There are 22 guys a day killing themselves because they come back and they see stuff that they can't get over. And the traditional method, and I'm not being this, but the traditional method, you come in, you sit on the couch, you talk to somebody, you take some pills, and you're supposed to feel better. Well, that doesn't always work with these guys. They don't want to come in and sit on the sofa and talk to somebody. So the approach here was, how can we help these guys? And so out of that came the Big Red Barn Retreat. So here's basically our mission. This is hard to read my slide, but anyway. We basically wanted to create a place of peace where people could come out and find peace within nature and with animals. And we wanted to provide therapeutic alternatives different from what the traditional therapy is given for guys suffering from post-traumatic stress syndrome, traumatic brain injury. We also wanted to help kids. My daughter's dyslexic, and so young people who are dyslexic, if any of you have ever been around someone who's dyslexic, you can give them all the tools in the world to be better at reading, but at the end of the day, you peel back the onion, they're always going to question, am I smart enough? And we want to give them more confidence in that manner. That's what horses gave my daughter. And also kids with special needs have a real passion around that. So that's why the Big Red Barn, that's kind of our mission, is to create an area where people can come find peace. So this kind of talks about who we're specifically targeting. We're going after those people that can be active duty or veterans who are suffering either from PTSD, TBIs, or it could be anxiety, it could be depression. All those are related to post-traumatic stress syndrome. Anxiety, for the record, is probably the #1 diagnosed issue out there. My daughter suffers from it with, being dyslexic. She suffers severely from anxiety prior to tests, stuff like that. So we're focusing on them, again, kids with learning differences and also kids with special needs. So this is kind of a timeline of the Big Red Barn. Does this move? Does this come on? Aha. Aha. Oh, now I'm dangerous. Did I tell you I want to be a singer, American Idol? No, okay. We purchased the land, my mom in 2013, she's driving down the road, she saw a for sale sign, ooh, I want to buy that. So she purchased it, land cleared, we built the barn in February, finished it in February of 2014. And then, I don't know if you've been by it, but there was an old building right in front of it. That was actually one of the oldest grocery stores in the county. We actually, Michael Metz, who's our partner, came in and restored it. So that's actually in front of the property. We put in a riding arena. It's a big riding arena. It's got a viewing station that's been put in. And then we applied at the beginning of this year, and I guess they didn't see me as a Tea Party person, so I got approved pretty quickly. So here's the Big Red Barn, and red, by the way, is our favorite color. And as you can see, it's pretty big, and inside you'll see that is not a traditional barn. I don't know if you can see that photo. But inside is nice, big, comfy sofas and a table, a lot of wood. And the intention of the inside of that barn right there is for chaplains, if they want to sit down with vets, have a little group conversation, mental health providers, if they want to use that facility underneath the barn, they can use that. On the top of the barn is a 3-bedroom apartment where my assistant director works, and she is a horse trainer, and so all the horses on the property are client horses that she trains. Their full-time job is being dressage horses. Their part-time job is being therapy horses. This is the Welcome Center I referenced. As you can see, inside is about 1,100 square feet. We've done some really neat things out there already. We sponsored a Valentine's Day dance for kids with autism. We had about 12 kids with autism. I don't know if you've ever been to a Valentine's Day dance with kids with autism. It was interesting. One kid walked around holding an egg and a spoon all night. But it was neat because the parents wouldn't leave. The parents got to sit there and watch their kids be whatever they wanted to be and have fun, and nobody staring at them, no one making fun of them, and they got to be what they wanted to be. It was really a neat opportunity. In addition, we're starting our yoga program in there, and I'm going to talk a little bit about that. This is our therapeutic yoga program, and we actually have that starting up. I got a grant approved by the foundation for that. So again, that's one of the things that we're going to hold in there, both workshops as well as classes open to the public. Let me tell you a little bit. A lot of you probably are thinking, oh, yoga, stretch, strengthening. That's not the power of yoga. And if anyone ever taken yoga? Okay. If you've taken yoga and you've had someone really spend some time, yoga is about controlling the breath and your ability to understand within, your ability to control how you're feeling no matter what's going on out here. Why is that beneficial to someone with PTSD? That very reason. They inside are raging and having all sorts of issues because of what they've seen and been through. We can't go back and erase that, but we can help them try to find peace within. And Ginger actually works at Fort Jackson with a lot of these guys, but she's only getting to see a few. There's so many out there that are not being able to get in to see her that now we're going to be able to provide that. We provide that to them free. So I either get paid for grants or we have yoga classes that, again, are open, are donation-based, open to the public. Our first one being tonight. Do you have a question?
I don't understand compassion fatigue yoga.
So if you look, yeah, compassion fatigue, if you look, this particular workshop was targeted toward mental health professionals. And think about it, I am a venue, but I'm not specialized in working with guys with PTSD. So the only way they come through and access the Big Red Barn is through their mental health professional. Those people have to understand the benefit of yoga, so then as they're getting guys coming in who they're talking to with PTSD, they can recommend it. Compassion fatigue for a mental health provider is just that. When you are sitting down day in and day out, counseling people and trying to be compassionate, you get tired. And so this particular workshop, it has twofold. One is going to teach them, the mental health providers, some skills, how when they get compassion fatigue, how they can re-energize. Secondly, it's going to talk to them about how yoga can help some of their clients. And so that's what this workshop is. And that's August 15th, that's coming up. We have about 24 mental health professionals showing up. So that's this workshop. But the open classes, we have one again starting tonight. But then the guys with PTSD, they actually get, it's one-on-one, her and the particular person. It's not a group session. Because you, again, they can walk in there, you don't know what can set them off, so she really has to work with them one-on-one. So that's kind of a little bit about the yoga. Equine assisted therapy. This is another program, again, non-traditional type of therapy. A lot of people think, how many people think this is riding a horse? Okay, good. Phew. No, and it's not shooting a horse either, just for the record. That's not going to happen here. Anyone been around horses? Okay, so a horse can be pretty intimidating. Not smart to wear flip-flops around horses, for the record. But a horse can be very intimidating. So the way we use horses is horses have obviously no verbal skills. They're very in tune to what's going on and how you're feeling. So we bring the guys in, we take off anything on the horse, a halter, a bridle, nothing's on them. We bring them in an arena, about 3 horses. They can range at 900 pounds to 1,200 pounds. Anyone been around a 1,200-pound animal lately? With big hooves? Nothing to stop them from coming over to you? Well, if you're a guy with PTSD and you're already fearful, and that's how you're feeling inside, a therapist is standing in there and will say, Joe, how you feeling? Well, I'm feeling fine. Meanwhile, the 3 horses are in the corner, ears back, they won't come near Joe. Because Joe says he's feeling fine, but we can tell because the horses, the way they're acting. Now the horses will start fighting each other and kicking each other. They're telling us that the tension in this arena is intense because what's happening with Joe. And it allows the therapist to start to peel back the onion to say, Joe, I don't think you're feeling okay. Let's get those horses to do things. I need you to do this. Go get the horse. Well, as Joe walks toward the horse and he's still raging inside, what do you think the horses do? Anybody? They scatter. I'm not getting near Joe. Oh my God, what's wrong with Joe? Phew. So you got it. So then she coaches him through on how to calm himself down. You start to do that, and that horse, they're herd animals. They want to be near you. They'll start to, let me go check you out. And that's how we use horses. We use them as basically a biofeedback machine. Another way we use them is, I don't know if you've ever worked a horse in a round pen. A lot of people think, that's just running a horse in a circle. Well, there's a lot going on there. You are teaching that horse that you're in charge of him. Okay? So by working him around, you ask him to turn. Once you've established with a horse, I am your leader, he will come to you, bow his head, and respect you and follow you. So now you take the guy that's already fearful, hand him a 1,200-pound animal, and say, hey, go in that little round pen and make that horse run around. They're like this. Oh my God, really? Okay, so they go in there, they make them run one way, they stop them, we teach them how to do that. Then we say, okay, now turn your back to that animal. And you see them go, really? So they turn them back. The horse will stop, come up, and he lowers his head, and he'll come right beside you. And as you walk around, he'll follow you. Imagine how empowering that is that you face this fear and this animal comes up and says, I accept you. At that point, I have to walk away because there's a lot of petting and crying. Because it's for them, it's a breakthrough. And it starts to paint new pictures for them of how they can move forward. And in the face of fear, how they can move forward. And that's how we use the horses. And the neat thing is, for me, my business model, like I said, I'm not paying for the horses. They have full-time jobs as dressage horses, but part-time they're coming in and helping these soldiers. So here's some of the summer activities we've had. As you can see, we had pals out there. They trained service dogs for vets. They had their camps out there. We had the kids out there introducing them to equine assisted therapy. A lot of these kids either have special needs, have learning differences. Some of them even have parents that are in the military. The more awareness we raise of this issue and this alternative, the more people we're going to get out there using it. This is a little bit more picture of the property. We have 4.5 miles of trails that have benches on them that are numbered. Again, if a mental health professional wants to come out and walk the trails and talk to a guy, this is a different environment than a sterile walled room. I think I could have a little bit more in-depth conversation walking through the woods with someone, and that's kind of the intent. As you see, there's 3 large pastures, so as you're walking, there's beautiful horses just sitting there eating hay. And we also have a pond on there. Apparently for some people, fishing is therapeutic. For me, not so much, but for some people. This is the pond pavilion. This actually, we built this. This sits right there on the pond. There's a big fire pit. This is intended for fellowship. So if the soldiers want to have, like Colonel Mark Shea from Fort Jackson is having his senior management team out, they're going to we're going to do an introduction to equine assisted therapy, some yoga, and then we're going to have some drinks and hors d'oeuvres here. The pond pavilion is available. If I have a mental health professional that wants to bring their group of guys together for some fellowship, this is provided to them free. So we don't charge for that. So basically, this is kind of what we've done so far. As I said, we got approved April 30th. Cracking the nut of the military has not been kind of what I thought it would be. You know, in Sonic, I want to tell you, I got 99-cent corn dogs. I could buy TV and radio and advertise it. Here, that's a different nut to crack. So we've kind of been trying to peel back the onion and get to these guys through their mental health providers. So we did have the equine assisted therapy workshop for the mental health providers. We're having a yoga workshop for them coming up. We are working with PALS. They do a lot of work out there. They've had their summer camps, as well as when they bring the vets out to be matched up with their dogs. They do that in the Welcome Center. So they do 4 or 5 meetings where they have vets meet certain dogs and they try to match the dogs with the vets. We had a soldier who, USC runs a class called Love Story, and we provided the Welcome Center free of charge for him to have a rehearsal dinner. Again, I mentioned the PALS. We've finished the pond pavilion, and we've got the website set up, we've got a Facebook set up, and going forward, we continue to develop more therapeutic programs. Right now, we're working to have an art program out there, therapeutic art. We're also going to have gardening. For some people, gardening, again, is therapeutic. Me, not so much. I can't stand weeds, but it's very therapeutic for them. And that's what we're going to continue to do. I continue to look for partners who are providing services to vets that are looking for a venue. So at the end of the day, that's how my business model works. I'm the venue. I'm looking for partners, and they have their business model worked out of how they get paid, or I can partner with them, and as a nonprofit, I can go out and write grants and get the money secured for them. So this is kind of our way of giving back. Love the restaurant business. We have some great people, great partners. It's fun to help people grow, but this feeds your soul, helping people that need the help. And there's a lot of guys out there that, you know, when they stand in front of a horse and they're fearful, that breaks my heart. So I like to try to help them out. So, any questions? Who wants a tour? No.
I'm not talking about team building.
Yeah.
For corporations.
So the other thing that helps fund this is Pathways is our partner. So Pathways is the therapist. Her name is Stephanie Bowman. So she does do corporate team building. If you are looking for an alternative to climbing ropes, I think is a traditional team building, and come out and put your team in with a bunch of horses. They have you set up. She puts to you different type of challenges. There's like, she'll give you noodles and stuff, and you have to put together different courses. Then you as a team have to figure out how you're going to make that horse do that. It really comes out quick, the type of person you are. You find out real quick who becomes the bossy one. You know, do this, get over there. It's really interesting. And so from a corporate team building, that's a way, if you wanted to help, you could say, hey, I'm interested in having some corporate team building. The money that, you know, she makes from that funnels back in to help the Red Barn, so we can provide more equine assisted therapy to the guys. So there's some ways there as well. Coming and taking the yoga, the public yoga classes, that's another way that you can help. And then again, if you meet somebody that either, A, you think could benefit from the services, reach out to me. I can put them in touch with the right people so they can get out here and get the services. Or if you meet somebody who's doing something really good for our gals, but they need the venue, have them reach out to me. I'm always looking for opportunities to partner them so we can help bring that to life. I mean, Ginger, our yoga teacher, literally is my neighbor, didn't even know her. Literally lives 5 minutes from my house, and she works at Fort Jackson, and she can only help 5 guys a day. And we know there's so many more, so it's neat that this partnership has happened, and we've been able to help more people as a result of this, because it will be out there. A lot of these guys, or girls, they don't want it on their record that they're seeking help. They want to do it privately, and this allows them to do that. So if you know someone that you think could benefit, reach out to me. We can set that up, that she will meet with them and start to help them.
So you lured me with the chickens and
I
the
love
beekeeping,
chickens.
which you didn't mention in your speech. Do you all live on the property?
No. I live around the corner, in the country. That's about 6 miles. I live around the corner. My husband's a pilot, so he only works 10 days a month. I got to keep him busy. It costs me a lot of money. No. So he's a beekeeper, and we have chickens. Those are, I don't know if any of you have been a beekeeper. It's fun. Will we eventually introduce that? We might do that. Because I don't know if you've ever studied bees, that nature stuff is really neat. You're like, oh, really? That's what, but anyway. And the chickens are I know that sounds crazy, but sitting around watching chickens, it's nurturing. It's just, you sit back and it's interesting. And they come up and they perch the whole, like, you wonder, how did a fox get you? Didn't you run? No, I perched it. Okay, I don't get that, but it's funny. So I think eventually we'll evolve that. The key here is finding somebody that wants to own that, you know what I mean? That can work with these guys, because you gotta be really careful. All of you have seen American Sniper, so you gotta be careful. You never know what's gonna set these guys off. And I use guys, it's guys and girls. So we want to be really careful. I can't just have somebody show up and say, hey, go walk the trails. And then he's out there having his moment, and there's no one there to help him. And I'm certainly not skilled to help him. So we got to make sure that we've got people on the property, if they just want to come out, they're there with their mental health provider that can help counsel them through that. I had another question.
I think you just answered it, but are there opportunities to volunteer?
Yes, we're going to work, we're working up to that. As we do more and more things, and we want to incorporate volunteers, we're going to do that. The equine assisted therapy is tough just because, you don't need a volunteer in there while you're going through therapy. So we're going to look for volunteer opportunities. I think a lot of people want to do that. It makes them feel good. So we've got some cleanup stuff on the trails we've got to do and things like that, that we're going to have some volunteer days that we'll be able to reach out to people and let them come out and volunteer on the property. Anybody else?
It sounds like you have more bandwidth than you have traffic. So are you seeing an increase in people coming through the program, and how do you get more people?
Right, that's my challenge. And I'm persistent, so yeah, that's what I'm spending my time doing, tracking people down. I got called a bulldog once by my dad, and thank God I am, because it's like, okay, let me call you, let me email me, let me show up. But I think I've cracked a nut here with Colonel Shade. He brought his senior leadership team out, and to get those guys out and get them to be involved and see how we can connect is going to be a big step. Getting people to know what we offer and working out partnerships where we can do it. So, but reaching the guys, how do they get out there? How do they reach out to us? That kind of thing. So that's been my biggest challenge. And I'm still working on that. That's what I do, trying to grow this program. So if anyone has connections or any suggestions, I have cards, and let's talk.
Are you going to have an open house or some way to get the word out to the public?
Yes, well, I was featured in The Voice, a little newspaper, but I've reached out to the state. You can't get the state to pay attention to me to save my life. Even in Sonic, I can't get The Voice to pay, or the state paper to pay attention to me. So call the state paper and say, hey, no. But trying to get the state paper out there, I have had, I was working with WIS to come out there and do something. So I do want to have an open house. I want to have it when I have some things I've done So we're going to get a couple things going where we can share success stories. And then we do want to have something in the fall where we have people out. We'll have pictures around what we've done, because it's kind of hard to show you equine assisted therapy. You know, it's not like I can bring you down and bring all the horses in, but we're going to do something like that. I'm working, Joe Wilson's office has contacted me. They want to come out and do a tour. So we're going to do a big open house once we have some successes underneath our belt, and that's kind of what we're looking for in the fall.
You're using social media in some way
Oh, I'm the queen of social media. No,
what is it?
no, we're on Facebook.
and it's called Big Red Barn?
Yeah, it's called the Big Red Barn. And so I'm using Facebook right now.
Everybody got their phones out right now and like.
And joined, yes, go live the Big Red Barn. Retreat is on
Gotta
Facebook.
have a retreat on there.
Yeah, you gotta add retreat.
But I have another question.
Okay.
I'm fascinated with how you pulled this together. You talked about your dad was the impetus for that. You obviously grew up loving horses. But you've got some other skills there. Your work background must have been some sort of organizational type.
My background, I'm a marketer, so am I an organizer? Yeah, I would say
Yeah.
strategic. My background, I think the biggest thing that's helped me in all of this is my dad started out at Sambo's. Anyone remember Sambo's? Who remembers Sambo's? Okay. My dad started out as a dishwasher at Sambo's, worked his way up, went around Village Inn, went around Perkins, and then started Sutton. Born and raised in the restaurant business. I am a restaurant brat. And so that has helped me anything. You gotta be tenacious, you gotta hunt stuff down. And I'm not afraid of a little bit of work. So that has helped. Again, I also get it from my mom. When y'all drive by and you see the lady out there with the straw hat, telling people where to plant plants, that's my mother. And I laugh because people don't even know she's the woman that owns it all, you know. They'll be like, well, where's the chairman of the board? She's out in the straw hat telling those people where to plant that plant. So that, you know, this wasn't all handed, what we do wasn't handed to us. So I've always been a worker bee, and I get that from, you know, the business I was in. Yeah. I saw another anyone? No, you're not allowed to ask questions, Jeff.
Are there kitchen facilities out there?
Oh, that's a great, no, Jeff Silver is going to donate, no. Actually, it's funny you mentioned that. Some of my moms walk around and she finds she found it. It's a trailer that she's had totally wrapped with a Big Red Barn, and it has a kitchen inside. And then we worked with the guy that runs his name is John, and he runs the kitchen place down on Assembly. He has, so I actually have a mobile kitchen. So I can bring something down and actually do an event right there. So if you want to do an event at the Palm Pavilion, you know, that's another way to help. If you want to say, hey, I want to have fun and fellowship in October. I want to have a guy playing a little guitar. I like the rocking chairs around that fire pit, so let's do that. And I want to have, you know, hors d'oeuvres and drinks. I'm willing to pay for that. Why not do it at the Big Red Barn? That benefits the Big Red Barn. You know, you rent it from us, and that money goes right in there to feed the program. So that's available too. And so we do. We can do. He does all of that, and we have a mobile kitchen for him, as well as then, you know, we've got barbecue. Got, you know, Skip does barbecue, so we're pretty good at that too. And honey, lots of honey. Any other? Well, like I said, if you're going down Highway 321, just look to the left, toward downtown, just look to the left. You can't miss it. Thanks.